Chapter 9, Silence. Weeks passed. Clara returned to her life in Krakow, but something had shifted. The city felt louder, faster, more artificial. The sounds of trams and chatter grated against her nerves. She found herself waking at odd hours, listening for a bell that no longer rang. Her dreams were quiet now, not peaceful, but blank. No forest. No ash. No faceless woman. She had forgotten. That was the price. The 13th prayer had sealed the veil, but it had also erased the memory. Not just from the village, from her. Her journals were gone. Her research files corrupted. Her thesis draft empty. She couldn't recall the names of the villagers, the shape of the chapel, or the sound of the bell. But something lingered. A feeling. A shadow. She began to notice patterns. 13 steps to her apartment. 13 books on her shelf. 13 candles in the drawer she didn't remember buying. She dismissed it as coincidence, but the number followed her. It was in receipts, phone numbers, street signs. Always 13. One evening, she visited the university archives, hoping to find something, anything, that might explain the gaps in her memory. She searched for Swierzyn. No results. She searched for the 13th bell. Nothing. She searched for her grandmother's name. One match. A letter. Dated 1945. Written in trembling script. To whomever finds this, we have sealed the veil. The bell must not ring again. If it does, remember this, silence is not absence. It is waiting. Clara stared at the letter for hours. She didn't remember reading it before, but it felt familiar. Like a whisper from a dream. She copied the words into her notebook, though she didn't know why. She felt compelled, as if the act itself was part of something larger. That night, she lit the candle she had found in her drawer. It burned with a strange hue, not orange, but pale blue, like moonlight. The flame flickered violently, casting shadows that didn't match the objects in her room. She watched it until it died. Then she heard it. A single chime. Soft. Distant. Impossible. She searched her apartment. Nothing. She checked her phone. No alerts. She opened her window and listened to the city. Normal sounds. Cars. Voices. Wind. But the bell had rung. She knew it. The next morning, she returned to Swierzyn. The train ride was uneventful. The landscape unchanged. But when she arrived, the village was different. Brighter. Busier. Children played in the square. Shops were open. The chapel stood tall, its bell tower gleaming in the sun. Only 12 bells. She asked a shopkeeper about the 13th. He laughed. 13th? We've never had 13. That's bad luck. She nodded, pretending to agree. But she knew. She walked to the edge of the forest. The trees swayed gently. Birds sang. The air was fresh. She stepped inside. No stone arch. No runes. No clearing. Just forest. She wandered for hours, searching for something she couldn't name. Eventually, she found a patch of moss, soft and untouched. At its center lay a single item. A bell. Made of bone. She didn't touch it. She sat beside it and waited. The forest grew quiet. And somewhere, deep beneath the earth, the veil stirred. Chapter 10, The Archivist. Clara never spoke of Swierzyn again. Not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. The memories were gone, sealed behind a veil she herself had helped restore. Her journals were blank. Her research corrupted. Her thesis abandoned. When asked why she changed topics, she simply said, it didn't feel right anymore. But something remained. A flicker. A whisper. A bell. She became a professor of folklore at the university in Krakow, specializing in forgotten rituals and rural mythologies. Her lectures were popular, her students devoted. She spoke of saints and symbols, of salt circles and protective runes. But she never mentioned the 13th bell. Not directly. In her private archive, a locked cabinet in the corner of her office, she kept a single item, a bone fragment shaped like a bell. It was small, delicate, and cold to the touch. She didn't remember where it came from. She didn't remember placing it there. But every time she opened the cabinet, it was waiting. Sometimes, late at night, it trembled. She began to notice patterns again. 13 students in her seminar. 13 candles in the chapel she passed on her way to work. 13 steps from her office to the library. She told herself it was coincidence. But deep down, she knew. The veil was sealed. But not forgotten. One autumn evening, Clara received a letter. No return address. No stamp. Just her name, written in looping script she hadn't seen in years. Inside was a single sentence. The bell does not ring for the living. It rings for the remembering. She stared at the words for hours. They stirred something in her, not a memory, but a feeling. A weight. A calling. She placed the letter in her archive, beside the bone bell, and locked the cabinet. That night, she dreamed of the forest. It was quiet. Peaceful. The trees swayed gently. The moss glowed faintly. And at the center of the clearing stood the faceless woman, her veil fluttering in windless air. She didn't speak. She simply raised her hand and pointed to Clara's chest. Clara looked down. The bell was inside her. Not physically, spiritually. She had become the seal. The guardian. The archivist of silence. She woke with tears on her cheeks and ash on her hands. She didn't clean it. She didn't speak of it. She simply lit a candle and watched the flame dance. And somewhere, deep in the forest of Swierzyn, the hollow saint stood beneath the stone arch, listening. Waiting. Not for sacrifice. Not for prayer. But for memory.